Toast. Season finale. Woo! Today we're drinking on a mocktail. We got some ginger ale, some apple juice. So it's going to be a fun episode.
In the words of Keith Lee, 10 out of 10.
Hey!
That's actually really good.
Thank you.
Go ahead and grab your whiteboard.
Okay.
Go ahead and grab your whiteboard.
Whiteboard time.
And I want you to tell me which episode of season 1 was your personal favorite. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey!
Wow!
Hey!
And just tell us, and this is our icebreaker for the week. Tell us why that was your favorite.
Go ahead, Papa.
I think it was the most probably honest and transparent you got out of us. Definitely the reactions from YouTube and all over social media for us. But yeah, I think it's an honest conversation. I think we really tend to not have these conversations in marriage. I think we don't want to offend other people, but this is your spouse, or partner. I think, these are conversations that need to be had. And I think I was glad to be able to have these conversations with you guys and hear you guys' responses. So I loved it.
Yes, I think this one was the one people were most opinionated about.
Yeah.
And I love hearing alternate opinions. Like, I don't want everyone to think like me. So I think it sparked some really good conversations. And there's still some questions I'm chewing on that people asked. And I'm still trying to think about where do I fall? Like, where do my opinions fall? Like, one guy in particular said, like, if... and this is actually honestly from the abortion episode. When a guy asked, well, if I didn't want to have the child and I told the mother that I don't want to have the child, should I still have to pay child support? Oof. And I'm still chewing on like what my answer to that is, because he was vocal about where he landed. And if she was feeling similarly, like she could just let go. But like, why is he forced to stay?
That's a great question.
So it's such a good question, and I'm still thinking about like how I really feel about it.
No, I was laughing at one comment from Body Count. The guy was like, this guy was like, oh man, I asked my girl how many people she been with, and she told me. Now I'm upset because he called her oh. I let this hoe meet my mama. And I was crying.
I think he used the word whore.
That's even more offensive. I was
crying. So we read the comments. We appreciate all of
I love the comments.
We love it. The good and the bad.
Yeah.
Good and the bad.
I think next season.
And the Ed math.
Yes. All right, we are back. Once again, we are celebrating our first season. Okay, that's amazing. As they say, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. All right,
and hit the notification bell.
Let's get into it. Okay, let's get into it. So, there's a debate going on online right now where the question is being asked: men, would you move into a woman's house? Talk to me. Where did this come from, and why is this a conversation?
So the original question I seen on social media was the guy, he had made a statement, said that women who buy their own house are not dateable.
Oof.
And so the energy that he got from women was just crazy. And I was like, I don't agree with that. I believe like women are dateable. I think that especially Black women, all type of different women, they already have so many different things they have to deal with in regards to finding a partner. And so that's just another just toxic, inferior men energy that they're getting from men. And so I don't agree with that. Women are dateable regardless. However, I'll say this.
I knew there was a however.
However, me personally, I'm checking my mic. I'm not moving in with a woman that already got her own house.
Why?
I'm not doing it. It's never going to be my house.
What does that mean?
It's never my house. Like, especially if you bought this house, You got like you 5 years in on a 30-year mortgage. This your house. You didn't have other niggas in that house. You didn't been in that house. You didn't. This is your house. If I'm moving in, I am a guest. And in any argument, you definitely could be like, this is my house. You can get out of my house. Like this is. I will never feel comfortable in that house. I definitely would not want to marry you and move in and raise my kids in this house.
First off, houses are so expensive right now. We're talking about mortgages being blown out of proportion. Interest rates are 8%. So, like, how can you talk about, like, oh, we just gonna give up a whole house and, like, do what, rent?
That's nice. I'm just saying, I'm not moving in. You could do whatever you want. You could be an investment house. But as I would have this conversation with you, I'm not.
Why can't we just change the furniture?
You change the furniture.
So, like, if you're so worried about the man, like, oh, you know,
you had another man walk around in his boxes in this house. My kids is not gonna be in this house.
Let's just do a cleanse.
You can cleanse my butt. You can cleanse whatever. You can
buy a new stove.
You can spread anointing oil. You can get sage. You can do whatever you want to do. I am not living in this house.
Why? Houses are too expensive. Like, can you imagine if we sold our house right now? Like, we would get more money than we paid for it, obviously, but moving into another house, even a similar size house, would be double the cost.
This is our house. We bought this house.
No, I'm just saying.
Right, but it's not like you own this house.
But think about if I own this house and then you moved in.
It wouldn't happen.
If we were to sell this house to get a similar sized house somewhere down the street,
I wouldn't have.
It would cost way more money.
I remember I was dating this girl.
Of money.
I was dating this girl before, when I was, looking for a wife. I was at the time looking for. I was dating this girl, and she owned her own house. She'd been there for years. This is her. I think it was already paid for, or whatever. And I remember we had a conversation like, what would happen if we got married, whatever, and everything. I'm like, I wouldn't live here. She's like, what? What? This is my life. Yes, this is your house. This is your house. You've lived here for years. You've paid this house off. You've dated different people and had different people all in. Like, this is your house, and that's fine. I would not move in. I would never. And a man would never feel comfortable to, like, they would never feel like that's their house. They'll always feel like they're a guest in that house. What
if they like renovated it, or what if they recently moved in it, like a year ago?
So that's a different. So that's another, like, probably positive. Like, okay, she just moved in, but it's still your house. Like, even so, the argument. So look at this argument. I'm gonna let you go, Mike. You had this argument. Oh, you get an argument. Well, you ain't do this. This is my house. You can get out.
What if we live in a community property state?
This is your house. Go ahead, Micah. This is your house.
Okay,
it's not.
So question, and vice versa. If you have a house prior to meeting, had a house ready to go, you living in your house 3-4 years before meeting Theresa. Before getting married to Theresa, is she allowed to say, "I don't want to live in this house"?
She is, but we had this conversation. What did you say? You wouldn't even think about it.
I wouldn't have even thought about it. I just would have bought new furniture. That's all I would have been thinking about was like, oh, okay, because I don't always like your taste in furniture, so I would have just bought new furniture.
So do men and women see this differently?
I think so, and that's gonna be something that we're gonna have to see in the comments. But the people I've talked to,
I didn't think this was a big deal. I thought like it was the marital bed that was the problem. Like, okay, we got to buy a new mattress.
You ain't just have sex in a marital bed.
How you know?
People have sex in the bathroom. People have sex in the kitchen.
What if I was celibate?
What if you were celibate? What if you were? Everybody ain't celibate watching this. Were you? I'm not gonna say were you celibate. I'm saying like, everybody ain't celibate. No, it's the thought like, okay. Other people even know, like, oh, she married now. Yeah, I mean, I remember I was over at that house. Like, no, maybe it's a man thing.
That's an ego
maybe it's
thing.
A sexist thing.
That sounds like ego.
It's definitely an ego thing. It's
pure pride and ego.
But I'm not.
You better have a down payment then.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because if you won't move into a house that's already purchased with a low interest rate, you better have a down payment ready to go.
And as a man,
because to go from owning to renting makes no sense.
And as a man, and I'm not speaking for everybody, I just wouldn't marry you. I just wouldn't, because if I'm not in position to have a down payment, I'm not gonna move in with you. I'm not gonna marry you. I'm just not gonna do that. I'm not even gonna.
This explains quite a bit, though.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Like you want men to be in a certain position. You want men to be financially at a certain position. Like, okay, they're gonna work to get there, but when you talk about, oh yeah, he's gonna move in with me in your house. I don't see a lot of people doing that.
Okay, so let's push.
I know some people.
Let's push the envelope a little further. In cases of death and divorce, does that change anything, or is it still the same thing?
Give me what you mean.
So,
Like the spouse died?
Like the spouse died and they're getting remarried. Should that other person, should they get rid of that house?
Yeah.
So you're saying like
Now
she was
creepy.
married to another person in this house, and you want me to fucking no? Oh no! Oh no!
There has to be a situation where it's like, the kids are going to school.
I don't care.
That's what I'm saying. 'Cause that's still
and-
those kids' house.
Yeah, and
You need
then
to find you a new person to marry.
I think it would be very difficult because like you weren't just dating now. You were married, your spouse lived there. They their ambiance is in our bedroom.
Yeah. You said no.
I just
And what about pictures? Are they allowed to keep pictures?
Why you keep pictures for?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
No, why can't they have kids?
What you
Wait,
mean?
if they have kids?
If they divorced or they died?
If they died.
Okay,
If they
yeah.
died,
you
yeah,
I thought
you
like,
gotta
you
have
divorced. You still got this
pictures.
picture of this dude.
Not
Like,
yeah, not
Yeah,
divorce.
I know, divorce different, but if they died
yeah.
and there's kids in the house, like yes, they should be able to have pictures. If they're divorced, the kids should be able to have pictures in their room of their their parent or their mom or dad.
But it's a new house though. It's not the same house.
And what if it's in the school district or something?
I'm not.
those
No,
school
I'm not gonna
districts
move
are very
into the house and
particular.
you got pictures of your ex-spouse in the.
But
No,
he's dead or she's dead.
I'm not moving in the house.
She's dead.
So you're gonna bring the dead pictures to the new house? That's allowed?
I don't want. You will keep it a butt. I don't want the pictures there. I'll keep it there. I will compromise. I'll compromise.
I love the honesty.
I'll
There
compromise.
should at least be one picture.
Yeah, I'll compromise because because then now I'm like
they're dead.
I'm in my house. I'm like, all right, I got to see this dude who I'm being compared to. You can say what you want to say. You can say what you want. You gonna keep it. You can say what you want to say. You're being compared to that person's ex-spouse.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, but they're dead.
They're dead. All right. You still compare to them.
Yeah, death is the only way I would take on some kids. I just can't. I can't imagine having to deal with baby mama drama. Especially some of the women that you used to date. I just know they would just get on my nerves. I couldn't do that.
So blended families aren't for you.
Oh, no. No. The Lord knew. I couldn't do no blended family. I couldn't because it's not because I don't like women. I do like women. I do not like dealing with people who have emotional attachments to your man.
Okay.
So unless they have like moved all the way on, they've got their own relationship or something, maybe. But no matter what, you're with that person for the rest of your life. It's like y'all are sister wives without all the sister wife privileges. So like she doesn't help clean the house, but she over all the time.
I mean, you can all be friends like Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys and his ex now.
That took a long time because like Alicia Keys stole that man. So that's really that's deep. Like they're gonna always think you stole this man from his original family. You gotta deal with the kids who feel like, oh, he's not here with us, he's over there with them, and all those emotional problems.
I couldn't deal with her if she had like a baby daddy dude trying to come around and I got rights because a man say what you want. We got ego. You gonna always feel like that's his. Period.
I mean, we see it
Bogus
with
as is.
Future and Baby Future and Russell.
You gonna feel like it's her.
Which
like,
is ridiculous because Russell is like the dad.
So like nah, you ain't for me calling here and you gotta go.
So what I've learned today is that the two of you, and you wouldn't be cool with blended families, and
No.
you would not be cool with living in her house.
No.
And I've learned that you don't care about living in somebody else's house.
Yeah, don't mind.
But the blended family, 1000% is not for you.
No, I always thought I could do a blended family until I've watched other blended families, and I was like, no, actually, I don't think I could. I don't think I have the patience and just the time to try to navigate everybody's feelings and everyone's emotions all the time. Still try to be respectful.
No.
It's just too much. It's too hard. Like, as is, our marriage just as is hard. Mm-hmm. But adding in all those extra factors, No, she'd have to be dead.
Yikes. So I think an important thing is to wrap it up in a bow. I think an important thing that I've learned from y'all is communication is key.
Yes.
Opening up yourselves to be a safe space for your spouse is key.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do those two things, you probably won't have to worry about maybe having a blended family one day.
That's legit. Like, honestly, if y'all are just having really open, honest conversations with each other about different topics that may be controversial to other people, but are things that you should be talking about, like all the stuff that we've talked about all season, folks should be talking about in their households. Those things should not be surprises about how you guys feel about certain topics. So, like, if you aren't having these conversations in your marriage, then where else can you have them? This is your safe space.
I think to wrap up season 1, I think it's important to have healthy, not only conversations, but confrontations that you need to have. Because sometimes we get so comfortable and we get to the point where we just don't want to cause an argument that we avoid pitfalls that are potentially down the road. You know, if I see something that is a conflict, I should want to address it before it becomes something that's dangerous for both of us. And I think that that's the key to having long-term success in your marriage. You know, the goal is to be together for the rest of your life, not just to enjoy the wedding day, enjoy some pictures, and then wind up getting divorced a few months later. And that's what, hopefully, we've started a conversation where people will be able to have conversation in their homes and, you know, understand the importance of being together and having these conversations. And, you know, next year we get some guests on here and we get some different opinions. I hope we lay the foundation for who we are so you get an idea of who we are, and then we move forward.
Ooh, I'm so excited.
Cheers!
Woo!
Cheers to a great season. Cheers to a
y'all.
great season. The final question of season 1 is, would you move into your partner's home?
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Y'all have a good week.